In Cebu City, where the streets were narrow and the houses leaned tiredly against each other, there lived a small boy named Lio, whose mornings began with hunger and whose nights ended with dreams. Too big for his tiny room, his home was made of rusted metal sheets and broken wood. And when the rain came, the floor turned into mud. Yet every morning before the city woke up, Lio practiced singing softly so he would not disturb the neighbors. His voice was not powerful. At first, it was gentle, uncertain, and innocent, like a candle fighting the wind. He had no microphone, only an old cracked mirror where he watched his own lips move, and imagined a crowd listening. Somewhere deep inside him, he believed that one day his voice would matter. Mara lived next door, and everyone in the area knew her as the woman who once sang beautifully, but never made it past poverty. She worked odd jobs, cleaned houses, washed clothes, and sometimes skipped meals so she could buy tea for her throat. She saw something special in Lion, just his voice, but his courage. She became his vocal coach without asking for money, because she had none herself. She taught him breathing control using empty bottles, rhythm using tapping fingers on broken tables, and confidence by making him sing in front of people who laughed at first. Lio also loved magic. He learned sleight of hand by watching reflections in shop windows and practicing with old cards thrown away by tourists. He mixed magic with singing because he felt safer hiding behind illusion than standing bare with his voice alone. Every evening, people gathered, not because they expected greatness, but because the boy reminded them of hope. Coins were rare, applause was softer, but smiles were real. One night, a borrowed phone buzzed with an email written in words they barely understood, an audition invitation from Ireland. Got Talent. The room fell silent. Mara read it again and again, while Lio stared at the screen, unable to breathe. They had no passports, no money, no idea how to travel. But the neighborhood came together, selling small things, lending what little they had, believing that this boy carried their dreams too. The journey to Ireland felt unreal. Lio pressed his forehead against the airplane window, imagining Cebu City shrinking below him. Mara held his hand, whispering lessons and prayers. When they arrived, the cold shocked their bones. Their clothes were thin, their shoes worn, but their determination was heavy and strong. Backstage, Lio watched other performers, confident, dressed beautifully, surrounded by teams. He felt small again, like the boy in the mirror. But Mara knelt in front of him, adjusted his collar, and reminded him that he was not alone, that his voice carried every struggle, every empty night, every tear he had swallowed. The stage lights burned bright as Lio stepped forward. His heart pounded so loudly he thought the judges could hear it. The music began softly. His first note trembled, but did not break. He sang about longing, about home, about a boy who dreams beyond hunger. As his voice flowed, his hands moved. Cards disappeared. Coins danced between fingers, perfectly timed with every note. The audience leaned forward, surprised. The judges exchanged looks, curiosity replacing doubt. One judge crossed his arms, trying to stay serious. Another smiled gently, sensing something deeper. As the song grew stronger, Lio gained confidence. His voice lifted, filled with emotion, raw and honest. He pulled illusions from nothing, as if hope itself obeyed him. At the climax, he paused, breathing heavily, then revealed a final trick, pulling a small flag of Cebu City from his empty hands. The silence was heavy before it shattered into gasps. One judge stood up, eyes wide. Another pressed a hand to his chest. The third judge wiped tears without realizing. Mara watched from the side, her knees weak, tears streaming freely. She remembered her own failed dreams and felt them heal through Lio. The judges spoke, voices shaking. One talked about growing up poor, another about missed chances. The golden buzzer was hit hard, and suddenly everything exploded. Lights, sound, confetti. Lio fell to his knees, sobbing uncontrollably, overwhelmed by emotion. Mara rushed to him, holding him tightly, both crying openly. The audience stood clap, not for perfection, but for truth. That night, a poor boy from Cebu City changed lives, not with money, with fame, but with courage. Judges cried, audiences believed, and a dream, once whispered in a broken mirror, finally echoed across the world.